Yeah, back I used to work for a really clever guy, a really great sales leader, and his expression was sales policy is for the week, for the week. And what that means is, yeah, we can write a 900-page manual about every scenario and it's black and white and here's what you do. But the world doesn't work that way, especially when it comes to sales. There's a lot of gray area. And, yes, have a sales policy. It should be general, but then you have to work in the gray, work between the lines, get the best outcomes. Use your judgment, right? Use your experience, use your instincts. Be fair to all, but not just stick to the lay of the land. And a good example was I spent 10 years at ADP, a very structured, rigorous sales environment, terrific organization with very specific segment rules. If you had, based on the employee size of the organization, it was either one salesperson or the other. Sales policy said you had to hand that off if the client was on one side or the other. But if you just followed policy, you risk losing the customer where they were because the customer doesn't care what size they are. They want they want to deal with someone they trust. They want to work with a good person. So you have to look at sales policy and says, yeah, I know this is a smaller client. Person A should now lead that cycle, but you risk losing the client, losing the deal just because policy dictates a certain approach. So, use your judgment, apply good logic and pragmatism, put the customer first. That's at the end of the day what it really comes down to for me.
And Steve, I remember some of the interactions that you and I had, and we had shared experiences here where there would be revenue disputes within our company when we worked at Oracle together. And, I think there was a definite correlation between like the success levels of people who called when there was a dispute and worked through it like a human being and recognized that there was give and take versus the one who robotically called referencing eSource, right? To, the sales policy. I think there is a definitive correlation between success between the former and the latter, wouldn't you say?
I would totally agree. I think, I mean, this is digging back deep, Matt, but I think they were wasn't the email that would somehow bounce around between, group sales directors. There's like a JE coming your way or something like that. And it was because it was a sale policy. And I always felt that those situations never ended well. What ended well was picking up the phone and understanding from one person to another person, where should the revenue live? How should it live there? And why should it live there?